After a very emotional romanticism, things turn around again. And now it's time for realism. Because artists started questioning themselves. Why should we focus on fantasy and escapism, romanticizing life that is around us, while life gives us the best lemons, we can make the best lemonade? Artists started saying, let's forget the drama and fantasy and let's focus on what's around us and what is really happening in the world today. Realism is all about depicting life and its honesty, focusing on working class, everyday people. This is the first style that predominantly is focusing not on the nobility and upper class, so take notes, and the harsh realities of lower classes. So, are you ready for this lesson of realism of the 19th century? Let's get started. The key features showing in life as it was back in the day, raw and filtered, touching up upon some social and political themes, straightforward rejection of romanticism, the architecture full of functionality. Realist artists focused on scenes from everyday life, especially the lives of ordinary people. No more grand and mythical themes. Look at Gustave Courbet, The Stone Breakers, 1849. It shows two men breaking rocks, doing hard manual labor. It's gritty, unsentimental, and a far cry from the romanticized peasants of earlier art. Courbet wasn't interested in making his subjects heroic or idealized. He wanted to show life as it really was. In a way, we can compare realist artists to journalists who are reporting lives of people who have been forgotten in art up until that point. Realism wasn't just art for the sake of art, like it was happening in Rococo, for example. It often had very political edge. Artists like Honore de Mier used their work to critique society, especially its unjust. The Third-Class Carriage, 1862, shows the cramped, uncomfortable conditions of the working poor traveling by train. It's a stark contrast to the luxurious scenes of aristocrats' life in earlier periods, reminding viewers that not everyone lived in opulence. Realists actively rejected the emotional drama and escapism of romanticism. Courbet famously said, "I cannot paint an angel because I have never seen one." Instead, they focus on what they could observe. This shift was influenced by the rise of photography, which emphasized the importance of capturing life accurately. In a way, they wanted to compete with photography. In architecture, realism led to more practical functional design. Think of massive iron structures of the Industrial Revolution. Of course, famous Eiffel Tower, but also Musée d'Orsay, that back in the day was a train station. London's Crystal Palace. These buildings were engineered for purpose and efficiency, emphasizing structure over decoration. It doesn't mean that the decoration was rejected completely, how it happens in modern days. However, it was definitely cut short comparing to previous epochs where decoration was probably more important than even functionality and practicality of the building. Because remember, in 19th century, we are experiencing also a massive upgrade in terms of lifestyle. People start living in more comfortable houses, the public spaces are more civilized and more technologically advanced. Architecture became more of a technological, science-related advancement rather than art, how it used to be before. Also, the architecture as a separate subject started developing more rapidly and independently from art itself. If Romanticism was all about emotion and imagination, Realism was about facts and the tangible world. Romantic artists wanted to stir your soul, while realists wanted to open your eyes to social realities. Realist paintings are less likely to make you swoon and more likely make you think about the inequality of back in the day world. Why it matters? Realism laid the foundations, groundwork for modern art by shifting focus from upper classes and fantasizing, idealizing everyday lives to becoming real and raw. By confronting social issues, realist artists also helped pave the way for later movements that would change society even more radically. So it's a stepping stone for many other movements and a massive shift of thinking about art and democratizing art. So that's realism in a nutshell. A no-nonsense movement that showed life as it was, not how we wanted to see it. But if you think realism was revolutionary, just wait until we start talking about impressionism, where artists started to see and paint the world in entirely new ways. Well, I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao!